Good afternoon, everyone. 2020. So I'm gonna get into some of these headlines and get into the main topic. And before I do, a couple of thoughts with you, and tell you I don't sell any of the shit that I'm gonna show you here. Okay, this is the stuff that I bought for my well-being and preparation. This is monoatomic gold, also known as mana or mana. It is good shit. Really, really good shit. And I do recommend at least trying it. I really do. It's good stuff. And then I've used this stuff here. You might recall I showed this a couple of weeks ago. And this is Ida Clear, or Ida Clarity rather. And it's ionic sulfate minerals in there. It's used for water purification. And of course, my annoying ass Chihuahua barks at every shadow there is. I do not recommend that dog breed at all. Okay? They bark at everything. And I hate noise. I really, really am very sensitive to noise. And that dog really has a way of getting under my skin. We tried these gummies. I don't know if I showed that or not, but these elderberry gummies, they're the shit too. There's all kinds of things you can be doing to keep yourself well. And I do recommend doing some of these. Also, I wanted to put this out there. Those of us who've been prepping for a while, we kind of recognize in our own way that things are going to get bad, really bad. And now that this is racing at us, top speed, we begin to experience some level of self-doubt. Especially if you're alone, isolated, like myself. See, being locked down, or whatever you want to call it, it's not a problem to me, because I'm not a social person anyway. I don't like other people. So I go out of my way to stay away from them. But I practice what I preach. When I told you that you should start a garden a couple weeks ago, I took a couple of days off from doing videos, and I did just that. I don't give out advice and then not implement it myself. Well, at least the ones I can implement. Okay? But we get this self-doubt. What are we going to do if the zombie hordes show up at our door? You know? And it's a hard question. On one hand, you can try to be a humane person and maybe help some of them. But that leads to problems, all of it on its own, right? Or you can be a hardcore motherfucker and tell them, get lost or you're going to die. And if they don't get lost, ghost them. There's a third option. And personally, I feel that it's the best option. And that third option is drawing them into your group. I mean, you don't want to do this for everybody, but certain people deserve, in their own way, they deserve life. And I'm pretty good at reading people. Pretty good. I've made some mistakes. Admittedly, I didn't know my best friend was an informant for quite a long time. He was. Um, so I do make mistakes. But drawing them into your group, if they have any kind of value. How do I determine value? And I determine that by skill set. What skills do they have? If they have the right skills, because I'm not trying to teach a bunch of motherfuckers what to do. If they have the proper skill set, if they have value as a human being, then maybe give them a chance. However, we all know the types, the thuggy types, whether they be white, black, Mexican, or otherwise, the thug types. And some people would look at me and say, yeah, that's a thug type, but I'm not a thug. I'm very, very far from being a thug. Okay? These are the people that you must defend against. These are the people who will rob you at gunpoint. They won't even try to ask, politely. They'll just go straight for violence. These are the people that you have to rigorously defend against. I have determined that, I should say, I've discovered a weakness we have. And that weakness is noise. A lot of noise. As I just said, my chihuahua, or my daughter's chihuahua more accurately, is a very annoying, frightful dog. It barks at everything. But then we have the rooster. The rooster. So, at some point in time, I'm going to have to make a decision. Are extra chickens worth drawing that unwanted attention? I haven't made the decision yet. But we only have so much ammo. And I'm not sure having a rooster is worth dumping all my ammo into defending the chickens. Hard to hide a rooster, okay? So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. There's a lot of unknowns, and it is these unknowns that's going to drive people to do bad things. It is that uncertainty, that insecurity, that's going to drive people to do bad things. The question is, are you going to be a victim of these bad things, or are you going to do what you have to do to remain alive and well? You should be thinking about these things now more than ever. And I had quite a day yesterday because I was thinking about these things, and I worry. I worry that um, we will become prisoners of our government. I worry that they're going to force vaccinate people, among lots of other things. So, if you have these same worries, you're not alone. You're not. But yesterday, in my video comment section, I had an individual who, and by the way, if I don't reply to your comments, here's the thing. I'm not even notified when somebody comments. And that used to be, how I knew someone commented. But now I don't get notifications on comments. I have to go and check to see. So if I don't get back to you right away, that's the reason. But in the comment section yesterday, we had a guy, a know-it-all type. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what's going to happen. Right? I'm not claiming to know. But we can get a reasonably good idea that even if the virus is a hoax, the reaction to it isn't. The lockdowns, they're not a hoax. They're putting people on lockdown and then threatening them with prison or county jail and massive fines if they disobey. So, the virus being real or not at this point, it matters on some level, but the thing is the government, all of them pretty much, are reacting to it. And their reaction has been varied, inconsistent, and so it's hard to know what precisely is going on. But when you ask the question, who stands to gain, you begin to get a very disturbing picture. I don't know if you know who this is, but what is her name? Her YouTube channel. Oh, I don't recall off the top of my head. I'm going to have to pause it and look. But this person, they did a beautiful job of tracking down Bill Gates' involvement in all this. And whenever this dude is involved with anything, it's got to be questioned. Now, last week, or earlier this week, he was on TV talking in an interview with a doctor and a news anchor, giving advice as to what should be done. Well, I didn't know Bill Gates was a doctor. I didn't know he had a degree in epidemiology or any related field. So why are they going to this motherfucker for advice? What is his role in all of this? You would be shocked. You would be shocked at all of the trails leading right back to Wuhan. Multiple trails. And Bill Gates is one of those trails. I wonder why that is. And then a couple months before all of this started to happen, Wuhan hosted international war games. Everybody was there. Everybody. So there's that. And Bill Gates has been preaching for the last, well, ever since I can remember, to the people of this world about climate change and how the only way to fix it is doing a really good job with the vaccines. One of those numbers has to get pretty close to zero. And of course, that number he pointed to was the population number. All right. Enough ranting here. Let's get into the headlines. All right. I'm going to start with the cops this time because I haven't been giving them enough attention. Graphic video shows cops nearly shoot fellow officer while killing a suspect. Yeah, see how they're... look at that. Look at... I mean, that is not how you... Who trained these dudes? And that's, this cop over there is asking to get shot by this cop here, and vice versa. So, they're not very well trained people. If you have to go against them, if you have a little bit of common sense and smarts to you, I don't think it would be too difficult to defeat these guys. I'm just saying. Because these are some of the guys that's going to help with, say, forced vaccination and gun confiscation. They will be involved. Some of them, the ones that are still living. Refrigeration trucks arrive to hold bodies as prisoners start digging mass graves in New York. Wonder what they need those mass graves for. I wonder. Now, this does demonstrate that the power resides in you. After citizens refuse to obey, sheriff reverses decision to close gun stores. That's all it takes. Disobedience. Of course, sometimes there's massive consequences to disobedience, but I'm pretty sure that these consequences are going to be less severe, let's say. Less severe. High-level child rapists released from prison because of COVID-19 outbreak. Police are crying foul as dangerous and violent child rapists are released from prison. Now, listen, don't look at this as a bad thing. These people are human. They can be dealt with. And any of you with children out there, you know what to do. don't you? You know. There is no need for the cops. You know what to do. Watch Dad getting food for his kids during outbreak, on 6 cops for harassing him or harassing him for it. You know, you can't have the slaves buying too much food, can you? No, they got to put limitations on the amount of food that you can buy. We have all seen the signs in the grocery stores, right? I wonder why they're cracking down on how many X, Y, or Z you can buy. Could it be that supplies are beginning to dwindle? Could it be? What do I know? Cop kills teen for running away and rule it justified. Yep. It's justified to shoot somebody in their back. Unarmed, running away. Now, if I were to shoot somebody in the back that was running away from me, I would be charged with the minimum of manslaughter, if not outright second-degree murder. But somehow, some way, it's different when government officials do it. Innocent EMT working the front line killed in her bed by cops raiding the wrong home. Now, they like to kill you while you're sleeping. You know, that just goes to show you how cowardly these people really are. Do you know that a large percentage of these cops are already calling in sick? I thought they were brave. No, they're not brave. They're cowards. They're cowards who needs the power of the government to back them up. They're weak, pathetic cowards, and they should not be looked at as heroes of any fucking sort. Pregnant woman tackled, arrested for walking while black during an outbreak. Oh my God. It's that disobedience. You can't have the sheep disobey, can you? Cops detain and harass man for allegedly withdrawing $40,000 from his bank account. How shocking. How dare he want his own money? Brave woman catches on-duty cop who repeatedly raped her by recording him in the act. And these are the kind of people that you think are going to protect you. Rapists, child molesters, murderers. These are the people that you think are going to protect you. No, they're not going to protect you. They are going to victimize you. And you should see this pattern by now. And if you don't, then you're a dumb motherfucker. Flat out. I disagree with the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, the original Police to Police. I guess that's a fair assessment, but they are racists. It's just as bad to be a racist on the other sides as it is for a white person to be racist. Cops indicted after video showed them torture handcuffed man and cover it up. Add that one to the list. Torture you. And I covered the other ones there already in another video. Let me see. Yeah, and that was those. Now we'll go over to Zero Hedge and talk about some of these headlines. Half the world is on lockdown. New York COVID-19 cases pass 90,000, according to them, the people who report the numbers. I'll tell you, Zero Hedge has done a pretty good job at, cutting through the bullshit and finding the truth of the matter a lot of times. So, I think they're probably fairly trustworthy. Oil stocks soar after Trump says he expects oil production cut. Russia and Saudis deny this. I seriously doubt that there's going to be an election this year. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. And DNC postpones presidential convention until August 17th. And I say, good. Who needs another fucking election where the people of this country are so stupid to believe that they're free because they get to pick their slave masters? They really only get to choose between one or two slave masters, and if they don't like the results, then they're just going to change it to what they want it to be. Remember, presidents are not elected, they're selected. Auto sales plunge to lowest in a decade, and the worst is yet to come in quarter two. Now, isn't this nice? It makes you feel warm and tingly inside to know some fucking scumbag corporate executive got $15 million in bonuses right before it filed for bankruptcy. And speaking of CEOs, CEOs been stepping down at very, very large rates in the last 6 months or so. I wonder what that's about. Eddie's not with us at this time. Engineer intentionally wrecks train in attack on USNS Mercy. Instead of firing everyone, Boeing offers voluntary buyouts to its entire workforce of 161,000 people. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of hungry, desperate people. There already are a lot of hungry, desperate people. Trump and Pelosi eye 2017 tax rollbacks and next virus bill. China rejects U.S. intelligence report claiming Beijing lied about coronavirus numbers. Of course they did. But they're all lying sacks of shit, and China is the leader of lying sacks of shit. Or the Chinese Communist Party, that is. COVID-19 is now the third leading cause of death in the United States. Oh yeah, they're reaming their hands, just waiting for those forced vaccinations. There will be no exemptions for you, Christian. Yep. You ready for that? Have you thought about what you might be doing if this occurs? I mean, Bill Gates, he's put a lot of money into these vaccines in ID 2020 and a lot of other stuff. U.S. factory orders disappoint in February before lockdowns even began. So the economy collapsing is not due to COVID-19. It is the smokescreen to keep everyone's eyes on the death toll and the case rate while everything crumbles around them. U.S. labor market is in a free fall. 10 million Americans. Now it's 10 million Americans. Remember yesterday I said 3.3 just for that week, this week. Well, it ended up being more like 6.6. So I was wrong on that. I don't like being wrong. U.S. consumer comfort suffers biggest 2-week crash ever. Elon Musk is kind of a douchebag, but he promised New York ventilators. He sent 5-year-old sleep apnea machines instead. Well, what's the 5-year-old have to do with it? I mean, I'm sure they'll be getting 5-year-old ventilators, and maybe even older than that. Walgreens plunges after warning on slow sales foot traffic, sees less discretionary spending. Well, if they would open up that pharmacy and let people have what they want from those pharmacies, they'd probably do a lot better. And that's just from this morning here. There's a lot more, but yeah. The news just keeps going downhill. Which brings me to my question earlier. What are you going to do when the hungry masses start going door to door? I hope all of us have the strength to do what we need to do to survive. I hope the good, the decent, the honorable make it through. I do. It's going to be a very, very rough summer, people. I might have been off by a year, but everything that I talked about for last summer is going to happen this summer. And there will be racially motivated attacks from both sides of the aisle. And that's unfortunate. All right. Is America preparing for civil war? And this one is from Tyler Durden. In quotes, the jump has no precedent in recorded history, is how one analyst described the stunning surge in estimated firearms sales indicated by data from the Federal Bureau of Investigation's National Instant Criminal Background Check System latest report, rather. And they talk about how people are arming up for some shit to go down. While actual gun purchases aren't tracked in the United States, the FBI system is largely considered a proxy for sales by the firearms industry, and the table shows a 41% surge year over year and a 33% spike month over month. Jurgen Brauer, chief economist at Small Arms Analytics, told Bloomberg News that handgun sales increased 91% year over year, per Brauer's analysis, and long gun sales were up 73.6%. So, what do you think? What are the American people gearing up for? In quotes again, the government is trying to do everything it can to keep society intact, and they're not going to be able to. But if society is unraveling, it's up to us to protect ourselves, said Andrew Dominguez, 36, a real estate agent in Pacifica, who waited near the end of the slow-moving line to buy ammo for his shotgun. It will be up to you to defend yourself, people. This virus gave me the motivation, Chen said, a 40-year-old who lives in Oakland. I've always wanted to have a gun, but I've been lazy. I see the news now and the outbreak and the chaos. Jackson Liu, 24, came bounding out of the gun store carrying a new $500 Glock 19. In quotes again, I feel like there's a lot of crazy stuff happening around the world, he said. I want to feel safe. And you know what? I don't feel safe unless I'm close to one. As a reminder, just last week, Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex some shit that I can't pronounce attempted to shut down all gun stores on the basis of safety concerns. They want to keep you safe. So, these guys are already calling him sick. When that number continues to rise, and it will, they're going to have to do something about it. They're going to have some sort of force out there to do their bidding. I wonder what that force will be. Strong Cities Initiative comes to mind. You remember this? You want to know who's going to be policing your neck of the woods? Just take a look at that. Look up Strong Cities Initiative, and you'll find out all about it. So, what else? Watch dramatic footage of bodies pile up in Manhattan Hospital. As bodies pile up at New York City area hospitals, 45 refrigerated tractor trailers were dispatched to the city to act as temporary morgues last month. We noted last week that morgues in the city were nearing capacity and would be full by the first week of April. I don't know if it's true. I'm not there. But that's what it says. In a matter of weeks, the city has transformed into the epicenter of the Wu flu outbreak in the U.S., with 1,714 deaths and 76,049 cases as of Wednesday, April 1st. And that went up overnight pretty significantly, actually. Makeshift morgues line the streets around some area hospitals in Manhattan and are being used to relieve the stress of the hospital system that have been overwhelmed with COVID-19 patients. There's a lot of videos out there that show empty hospitals, or it doesn't match what's being said, and that's a problem to me. New video, not mine, from New York City, where bodies of the victims of COVID-19 lined the sidewalks outside a hospital for transfer to a mobile morgue unit. Well, let's see. My fucking this computer is such a piece of shit. It's pissing me off. It'll work. It'll work. Just it's got to do its thinking there.
It's ridiculous. Bodies. There's a truck that we're gonna put the fucking bodies in. Look at this shit, mad bodies. This is full up with bodies. The second load. Shit crazy. I'll show y'all this. Shit crazy.
I don't know, it looks pretty empty to me. So, as you can see, it's really not that bad yet. But, you know, only time will tell who's correct on this stuff. I think the virus is real, but I think the government's reaction is even more real. And we are running straight to a post-apocalyptic dystopia. What's going on here is they're finishing the job of turning the United States into a third world country. They wanted to level the playing field for all of the poor, underprivileged countries out there, and they thought the best way to do this was by reducing the United States to a third world banana republic, which is what it has become. So, what do you think, people? Do you have an idea as to what you're going to do? If any of you out there would like to group up with me, please do holler at me. I would seriously consider it. The more armed people around, the better off we will all be. So, and I know a few of you out there are definitely trustworthy, so please do. If you find me to be trustworthy, please do holler at me. Maybe we can make some kind of arrangement. If you have any tips for me, I don't know, information, pictures, video clips, please do hit me up at my email address. it'll be in the description box below, along with my like, share, subscribe, and PayPal link. I hope everyone has a great day, and until next time, kill the state to live free.